Welcome back to the next session. We're going to get into daily habits, success, building habits, your daily success habits involved in that. So it's kind of one and the same, but I want to break down um, building habits in a different way because we went through it obviously in the main section. I want to go even deeper into this section, which is the daily success habits that you're getting into. As you build habits, daily success habits. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really simple, and it's really going to start setting you up to having those habits that are just marching you toward where you want to go. I can tell you my own story when my habits were off, when I was not doing the things that I know that I should have been doing. You know what that's like, you know what that feels like. It's a slippery slope. And I was in there for a while, just a lot of habits that just got a lack of discipline, and I didn't have the accountability. And ultimately, and this is really what we're getting at, it's having the vision for your life. Because the vision, we've said it time and time again, the lack of vision, people perish, people lack discipline, they throw it to the wayside. And when you don't have the discipline, you don't have the freedom. As hard as discipline is, it actually is freedom for you. So these habits are ultimately your freedom. They're your disciplines. They're your rituals. They're going to take you to where you want to go, right? So let me get into it, where we're at here. All right. Building habits, daily success exercise. We're going to have a few short minutes together. I'm going to give you a couple stories about some guys that I think have some great habits and how they do it, and the mental thinking behind it. All right. The first story is a guy named Ed Mylett. Now, if any of you know Ed, he's got a great podcast. He's a horse. He has this thing called Max Out, and it's really about maxing out everything that you do in life. And one of the stories that really hits for me with Ed is that he's obviously an entrepreneur, author, speaker. He's down here near me in Laguna Beach. I know some people that are working with him. He's phenomenal. He's a huge advocate for working out. I mean, you can look online and some of these photos he has. I mean, the guy is jacked, right? But what I love about what he talks about with his workouts is he talks about always doing one extra rep. So anytime he's doing a set, anytime he's working out, he gets to the end and he does one extra rep. I want you to think about that, because as he starts to talk about that one extra rep, he then will tell you the story about how that one extra rep actually applies to all different areas in his life, right? So wrote down here, if it's in sales and it's one extra sales call, it's one extra email, right? It's spending that little extra moment with your family, right? It's doing a little bit extra at your workplace and your career. It's doing a little bit extra in your personal development, right? Maybe you were going to read, a chapter of a book. Well, what if you did 2 chapters? What if you did a chapter in 1 page, right? If you were listening to that podcast that you wanted to get through for those kinds of things, what if you got through the whole podcast, right? You did a little, and then maybe a little extra on the end of that. It's that whole thinking of just a little bit extra, and it pays off. It's that little bit extra that as you start to build, it's these habits, even some of these habits for my own self, when maybe it's a physical habit or whatever it may be, I'll look for that and say to myself, all right, what's a little bit more that I can do? If I'm running, it's a little bit extra. It's 1 extra lap. If I'm cycling, it's, maybe 1 extra mile, or whatever those little extras are, because they start to captivate the way that you're thinking. It becomes a habit, becomes a ritual. And if the habits are lining up to the goals that you want to have, well, that's when things get incredible for you. That's when you just start to feel like you're getting progress, and happiness is progress. I love that Tony Robbins says happiness is progress, right? So that's one area with Ed. It's one little thing about habits before we get into the worksheet and the exercise. But just think about that for your own life, right? Just think about the habits for yourself. Another thing that I love, totally different idea here. Donald Miller. If you don't have the book Here on a Mission, I highly recommend this book. This is a book that if you're on your journey, as you are, you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to figure out what you're doing with your life. What does your life look like? He does it better than anybody else when it talks to the hero, which is you, and your mission. Right. But one of the things that I love, one of the habits that Donald talks about, I mean, the guy is a machine, just a phenomenal writer, incredible. And he talks about his morning daily ritual, his habit. And one of the things he has in there, I wrote this in there, it says, read his eulogy every day. I mean, what kind of a person is reading their eulogy every day? Well, Donald Miller tells you why, goes through in the book about the importance of it, about putting the end in mind for your day. Every day that you're looking at it and saying, all right, this is the person that I am. This is the person that I'm becoming. This is the person, the type of family person that I was. He gives you a whole, if you get the book, he gives a whole template of how to create your own eulogy. And you're doing that as a habit to become the man or woman that you're going to be. I find that to just be so powerful to start your day. Reading your eulogy. He then goes and he has this daily planner where he'll walk you through. And I know maybe you have a planner you got on Amazon. My wife has one, and a lot of people get planners, right? What's your day like? What's your most important thing? He's got one as well. I don't use it, but I think the template is phenomenal. And it's not only, he's doing this. Remember, this is the habit. This is a successful habit that he's using and doing, and has launched him into the man that he is, into the writer that he is, into the business person that he is that he's reviewing his 5 and 10 years goals. So if you're going through his daily planner, you would see his first page, what he's doing for the day, but he also reviews what's the 5-year goal. In 5 years, what are you going to become? Who do you want to be? What are the projects that you're working on? In 10 years, what does that look like in 10 for you? What does that look like for your family? What does that look like in your career, in your finances? What does that look like in your home? What does that look like? What are you doing for fun in 10 years, right? He is on a mission critical plan. Donald Miller. If you want his worksheets, I put this on there. It's heroonmission.com. I believe some of them are free, but he also has a paid version as well. And it's something that I just think he's done a phenomenal job. He works your habits. He gets those goals in front of you. It's a reminder. It's a habit. It's successful. It brings you into becoming. It allows you to see, take a glimpse behind the veil into the future that you're becoming. And that is one of those powerful things that you can do. So much of our day is distracted with either where we are or where we were, who you were, failures you've had, things that people have said about you, maybe things that you've missed. Maybe it's procrastination. You feel like, oh, why try again? I haven't been able to do it in the past, right? And even in the future, then that projects into your future, and you say, I haven't done it in the past, so I'm not going to do it in the future. No, that's got to stop. This is where these habits we're going to go deeper into these habits to say, no, you can't. We've generated awareness. If you haven't gone through that module, get into that, the awareness and auditing all the stuff that's going on in your life, right? Then you have to go to your accountability, that yes, you're accountable to yourself, that your life matters, that you don't need to wait on anybody to do it with you, but you're doing it for yourself. You have a stewardship. You have an accountability, that there's a place and an assignment from God for your life, right? This is how you're building those habits. This is why you're building those habits. All right. You see how this starts to spin and move towards you into who you're becoming. Open your eyes that you may see. It says faith comes by hearing, and hearing what God says about you. God says great things about you. Write those things down. Get those things around you. Have those in as part of your goals, as part of your 10-year goals, as part of your worksheets. I'm going to give you this success habit worksheet that we're going to go through, but this Donald Miller one is powerful. All right, it's powerful. I love what Ed says here. The comfortable road will never lead you to the person you're destined to be in your life. Never. It will never get there. It will never get there. I'm looking up at the wall in our kitchen just now because I'm reminded of my son. He's 12, and we have a quote book, a quote thing in our kitchen. And from time to time, I have the kids put something down. Sometimes it'll be just smile today, or, you're awesome, or just different types of quotes. Well, Roscoe wrote recently, this goes right on with Ed says, I'm leaning, sorry. It says, if you find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. I mean, it's exactly here what Ed's saying. The comfortable road will never lead you to the person you're destined to be in your life. Never. Comfortable will kill you. It is already killing you. There's times when I literally look at my couch as a death trap. If I'm on that thing, God, it better be for a serious reason. It better be because everything that I've been planning for my life and my mission has been done. It's got to be for a reason, right? There's a sense of urgency on your life. Tomorrow is not promised. There's no guarantee. It's what we have and what you're doing today to accomplish your task and your mission, to build those habits. It's okay if you've messed up in the past. The failures are not final. The losses, right, you can learn from. The obstacles are your opportunities. All of those things are crunching you into becoming the person you're going to be. It's okay that you lost. You know what? It made you better. Don't get bitter, get better on those things, right? What you go through, you're growing through, right? And it's painful when you're growing. My kids are growing right now. They're little, but there's times when they come to me and they say, oh, Dad, my knees hurt. My legs hurt. Their bodies are literally growing, and they have pains, growing pains. And that's what you're going to have, those growing pains as well, just like I've had those. It hurts. My hand is up. It's painful to grow up. It's painful to level your mind up, that your mind is growing, right? That your soul is growing, your spirit is growing. Your physical body, when you're working out, it hurts. You're growing. All right? Those are good pains. So here's our daily success habits exercise. All right? The first thing that we do, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So just so you can see what it looks like. This is what it looks like, the daily success habits worksheet. All right? I'm going to show you your top 3 priorities and your top 3 stressors. Right? And so this is what, if you can imagine, it gets you to, print it, whatever you need to do. But the objective here is, let me give you some of the more detail of how this, what your top 3 priorities mean. What do your top 3 stressors mean? Well, let's break that down a little bit. All right, let's break that down. So your daily success habits exercise. So the top 3 priorities in your life. And one of the ways that I usually do this with clients is that we will review the Wheel of Life exercise. So this is something a lot of times we do when I'm first with a client. We're first, figuring things out. The Wheel of Life, if you've gone through, I believe it's the audit section, audit section, it'll give you the Wheel of Life. And it's 8 parts of your life. We call it a helicopter view. And so the helicopter view is going to you're going to get way up. It's like a 30,000 foot view on your life in all the different areas, from your home to your career and finances. To your career, to your finances, to your physical health, to your relationships, to your marriage, to your personal development, and to your fun time. Okay. So there's all of these little areas. And so when I'm saying for the top 3 priorities, you're looking at the top 3. So as you do the Wheel of Life, you're going to do a 0 to 10. And so, for example, someone would say, my career, I need that to grow. My marriage, I need that to grow. I need Money, I need that to grow, right? A lot of times with high performers, those are usually some of the areas. Sometimes it's physical health as well. You're like, I'm just out of shape and I need to do better at that. No problem. So first you're going to list those top three. And that's where in this box, right here on the left, top three priorities, you see that. That's where those things are going to go. And then you're going to get the top three stressors. So the stressors are going to be, the things most likely preventing you from achieving your goals or implementing and maintaining healthy habits that support your success. So as an example, I took career. I wrote that down. I said, so let's say one of the top three priorities is career for you. If we were going to break career down, what are the three stressors that you're having about your career? This was easy. This was an easy one because that was something that I was in. My career, I just felt trapped. I felt frustrated. I felt capped. I felt like I was angry about it, right? So in my career, one of the things that was a huge stressor was I didn't know what the heck to do. That was a stressor. And when I ask clients, 90% of the time, it's the exact same thing. They actually don't know what to do next. They don't know. And a lot of times they do know what they want to do, but they still don't want to say it because they're afraid of what that actually looks like or the work they need to do. The second thing was unmotivated. You're just unmotivated to do something a lot of times because you don't know what to do. You have so much information that you literally are constipated. You're immobile from decision. You have so much information that you just can't make a decision. You're unmotivated and you're afraid that you don't want to do the wrong thing, right? You've built your career up, you've built your life up, and now you say, well, I don't know what to do next, and I don't want to do the wrong thing next. That's a stressor. Right. Another thing was need more income. So your career might not be giving you the income you need to have. And with, whether you have a family and kids or where you live or, whatever's going on in your life, budgeting and all those things, that was a stressor for me in my career. I was saying to myself, I need to get, more money in this area, or I need to have this business to get going. I needed more income. Right. So you can see where the stressors play, you can see where the priorities play, and you break those things down. Okay, it's going to take some time. Listen, don't rush through this. Take a moment. Your life matters. It's worth it. It's worth taking the time. You're a $71 million asset. You're not here by coincidence. This is something that's going to change your life. It's going to transform your life. So take the time. Take the time to do it, okay? Take the time to be still. Take the time to calm down. Take the time to see that this is going to help, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. The next thing that you do, so here's what the worksheet looks like as you start to fill that stuff in. Or you just do it on a piece of paper. You don't even need it. You can just literally just line down the side, boom, boom, little boxes. It's not rocket science here. It's just something so you have a visual of what you're going to attack next, all right? So then the habits we continue, right? Here's the next set. So as this continues, there's going to be another sheet, right? So you have that one for stressors and priorities. And then this is what, let me go to this one. This is what the next sheet. So a box of five, and then line those down about all the things that you need to have. Habits, rewards, when you're going to start, what you need to be, and what you need to have. Okay, I'll break down all of these, but this is what's going to get these success habits in motion. These things every day. These things every day that you're saying, right? It's going to start to make sense. All right, so if you were to write down one or more habit that you believe will benefit or support your top priority to relieve or eliminate a top stressor. So I wrote down here. So if it was career, you could start reading books. Right? That was exactly one of the things I started to do. I just started pouring everything I could into my personal development. I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, let's search. Let's see. There's an old quote in Proverbs, it talks about, it says, search and seek for wisdom like it is precious rubies. Like it's the most precious thing on earth. Find wisdom. In all of your searching, look for wisdom. And I said, well, all I know to do is just start reading books. I went to the library. I just started pulling books out. I just started reading them. Every moment that I could read, I was reading. And it was starting to draw me into about what was going on, about how to get some clarity, about what do I really want in my life. Taking courses, right? You might say, I don't know which course to take. I don't know what's going on. Just start the journey. It's not going to be perfect. All right. There's going to be some courses that you take that may not work. They may not be beneficial in that specific moment. There was a course that I took that I went through it and I was like, oh, I don't know. I wasn't really into it. But then almost a year later, I started to see that a lot of those things that I was doing came directly from that course. So I had the information, I had the knowledge. It wasn't for that specific moment. It was for a moment that was happening in the future, but it was helpful. The course, I was learning, I was growing. There was growth. There was happiness was starting to come in because you're starting to see progress in your life, and that's bringing happiness. Ultimately, that's what this exercise is doing. It's giving you some progress, right? So as I started reading the books, as I started taking the courses, as you do, you're going to start to build momentum. These things are going to start happening. You're going to start getting ideas to do things. You're going to start maybe talking to different people, different groups. Doing this stuff started to put me into a mastermind, right? So again, as you're writing these things down, let's go back. So inside of your habit, that's where you're going to write down. Okay, what's the new habit, right? Then the next thing is, what's the reward or the benefit associated with the habit? So for me at the time, I was looking to upgrade my resume. I was looking maybe for a new job or what was going on there. So that was a reward, was, potentially a new employer, right? Another one was new business opportunity, be your own boss. That's a great reward. Maybe you're reading business books for your career and that sort of stuff, right? Clarity for what to do next. What is happening in all of this education process that maybe you're starting to get clarity. You're saying, oh, I thought I was going to do this, but now I think I want to do this. So then you start to fill in, right? This worksheet, sorry. So now you're filling in the rewards. You got the habits there. Now you're filling in the rewards, and now you're getting into the crunch time, because as we get into more SMART goals, and you've probably gone into big goals and SMART goals, you've got to have a date. Without a date, it's just a dream, right? We want to wake up for the dream. We want to take action, put down the date. It's not about the goal. It's about the growth. Always remember, it's not the goal. We're going to hit goals. You're going to miss goals. There's goals all the time that I don't hit. I set big goals. I don't hit them. But you know what? I sure did grow a lot. I sure did grow a lot. I love that quote. Les Brown says, shoot for the stars. And even if you miss, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. Right? Shoot big, because you're going to be growing. Look, Grant Cardone's great book of 10X. He says, go for 10X. Take a 10X goal. Why? Make it 10X. Why? Because even if you miss, it's still 3X, 4X. It's better than 1X, right? Think about where you're wanting to go, setting those things, but putting the date down. Mondays, I always joke with friends whenever these guys were fitness guys or starting to work out again, or, stop eating sugar. You go through those periods where you're just eating junk, whatever. It's like, okay, Monday, that's when we're going to start. So why not Monday? Start on a Monday. That's what you need, a little extra leeway. Start on a Monday, but put the date down of when these habits are going to happen. Remember, your life matters. It counts. There's an assignment for you. There's urgency. You have the solution to somebody's problem. You have to know that. You have the gift that somebody else needs, that you need to share with them. And by you cultivating and stewarding that gift, you are becoming more valuable. It's not for you. It's somebody else out there. Somebody else needs what you have. Remember that. All right? So we went through clarity, what to do next. We went through the dates. Now we need to look at the last ones, is what do you need to be to establish it, and what do you need to have? Okay, this one can get a little tricky, so I wrote it down. Write down what you need to be to establish, do you need to be consistent, patient, engaged? And what do you need to have to develop and maintain it? Family support, healthy foods, if it's physical, exercise equipment, walking shoes. Those are all really more on the physical side. But let's say for this, need to be, for your career, and you're using these daily success habits, to start reading and start doing these things. What do you need to be? You need to be patient. You need to be focused. I know for me, I needed to be resilient. I needed to be patient. That, it doesn't happen in a day. It takes step by step, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little bit each day. Now that works both ways. That works for positive and for negative, right? There can be a slippery slope when you start making little bad habits. All of a sudden the bad habits becomes a big bad habit. Small habits that are good becomes great habits then. And that's what it is, but that's what you need to be. So in the worksheet, right, you're going to put in need to be in this box, or whatever this line looks like for you. If it's just a piece of paper, just need to be. What do you need to be? Focused, resilient, right? What do you need to be? And then in the need to have box, right? What do you need? Support from friends and family. You could reach out and say, look, this is a new thing I'm doing. I'm scared. I'm scared for this. I need your support. How can you help me? I don't know this area. Is there somebody that you know that can help you in this area for your business, for your career, whatever it may be? When I was doing all this stuff, that's what I was asking. I was asking friends and family, who do I need to talk to? What do I need to be looking for? What books do I need to read? How do I become this? What's the next step? Find the person that's already doing it and ask them what to do. Right? Another things I needed to have the courses purchased that I was working towards. I need to have the books purchased, and I need to have my time scheduled. All right. So your time scheduled is just as important, because there was times for me when I wanted to read all these books, and then I would start to do the work, and guess what happens? My phone starts to ring. I start to scroll Instagram. I start to, maybe watch TV. I start to do these distractions, destroy any type of the habits that I was going for. Distractions destroy. Remember that. Distractions destroy. So when you're going to do these things, you got to know that, like, it's got to be in the schedule. If it's not in it, it's not going to happen. Get your schedule down. Have your mornings planned and routine. Block those things out. It's untouchable. It's not going anywhere. You're going to be focused on doing those things because it's going to make a difference. Block out the time in the schedule, right? So there's your habits. There's the boxes: habits, rewards, start, need to be, need to have. All right. Those are the kickers. And so before you get out and start doing this, always, if you need a question, you have something going on, let me know, ask. I'm here. That's what this is for. It's you and I. If you were sitting at my table right now, we would be kicking it and talking exactly like this. I would be asking you, where you at? Like, where do you want to be? What do you want to have? Right? What are the habits that are in line with that? Right? Be honest with yourself. It's okay. You're gonna miss some days. All right. But it's not about the days that you miss. It's that you get back up, right? You're not a champion if you haven't fallen down, right? If you're undefeated, I mean, you don't know what taking a loss is, but I know that you have, and I know that you're turning those losses into the learning experience. I know that you're taking those worries that you have, turn that into wisdom. That's what we're doing. I know that you're looking for more. Like I said, ask the questions. Start doing the work. If I could put anything last thing on you, would just be this: get the distractions. Distractions will destroy you. Get them out, and get the time, get the space. Elimination, get the space, and your mind is going to start to work at 10x. I guarantee it. I guarantee that you're going to become a champion as you continue to do this work. You're transforming You know it. I know it. Progress is happiness. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining.